Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the NECA figure, boom, Nightwatcher Michelangelo, who is part of the Late Ronin line. Now I've been liking a lot of these black and red figures. I think they all look really great. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Michelangelo in this line. So first thing I want to do is mention my membership program. So for $2 a month, you get a lot of really cool stuff like, behind the scenes, blooper reels, and I'm going to be adding more to that, so definitely worth checking out. So without any further ado, roll that intro. So here he is in packaging. I love the artwork on the front. I really do like that. So you got the Late Ronin up here, the Lost Years, Michelangelo, part of the Night Watchers, and NECA. You open it up. All right, on this side, you got an open window where you can see the figure and all his accessories. Then you bring it around to this side, and you get a nice picture of the figure. Close that back up. All right, you come around this way. You get some more art, which is basically the same as the front. Come around to the back here. You get some really cool shots of the figure. I do like a lot of these pictures. The Late Ronin and a little bit about him. Come around here. You have the iconic Late Ronin cover art, which I love this picture, to be honest with you. His name and what number he is. Right, come around here. Got the Late Ronin logo, your age restrictions, and choking hazards. And then underneath you got your legal and SKU. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. Alright, so here he is, out of packaging. Now, the first thing we're going to do with him is we're going to go through his points of articulation. So, the head does move. You get a shoulder joint. You don't get a whole lot of movement in there. A rotation, an elbow joint, and a wrist joint. All right, get that arm back into place. This one up. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of up movement with these arms. You do have a torso joint. It's sort of there, but it's a little hard to move. You get a thigh joint with a swivel and a knee joint. Also, you do get an ankle joint. Now, all these joints feel really stiff on him. You may want to soak him up in a little bit of hot water before really messing with him because he's very tight. All his joints are very tight, except for this knee that doesn't want to let him stay on the stand here. All right, come on, dang ankle. There it goes. He still don't want to stand. Come on, buddy. There we go. All right. So now that I finally got him to stand proper, let's start looking at the head sculpt. All right. So the head sculpt don't look bad. I like the detail to it. Got your cartoon lines here on the side. All right. Coming back around this way. Into the front. All right. Like the other figures upon this line, I like the red and black look to them. That looks really good. I like how they do all the striping here. Though I will say, looking at this closely, this paint looks a little sloppy here. It looks like it could have used another coat of the red because you can see the black bleeding through it. So I'm not really, super happy with that. But it is what it is. Sometimes you don't get that paint job perfect. But other than that, the rest of it seems okay. Like you can even see a little bit of that in the shoulders as well, where that paint could have been just a little bit redder. All right, come around to this side. You get to see his arm. Bring that shoulder down. You get to see the red bands and everything on here. And he topples over because... All right. All right, so there's the back. Around to this side. You see a little bit more of that darker red where it could have been a little bit brighter. All right. Bring this arm down so you can see the detailing in there. All right, and back around to the front. So he's an overall decent looking figure. Other than some discrepancies in the paint, I don't have any issues with him. Now we're going to look at all his different accessories. So first off, he has an alternate head. That's a more of a grimace looking face. All right. Comes with 4 hands. He comes with 2 holding hands. So 1 and 2. He has 2 like more open hands. So 1. All right. And 2. And he comes with 2 nunchucks. So here's one of them here. Stop swinging around. Now, I love the factor that they use real chain. I love anytime that they use real chain. I always like that. It gives a more real look, and it flows a lot easier a lot of times. And then there's the other one. So now, let's start with the head. Now, when I did Donnie, the head came off pretty easily without hot water. So I'm going to see if I could do that with Mikey. All right, so that came off. And now, all right, that's on. Nope, not on. Almost on. Hey, it feels like it's on. All right. All right, so that's on. All right. So I was able to get that on without hot water, which is pretty good. I'm kind of happy about that. So now let's start swapping out hands. All right, there's that one. Going to do these 2 open hands first. 1 and 2. All right. So those 2 hands fit in there fine. No issues. Now you could probably, maybe, now I was hoping that like with the hand like this, you could probably hold a set of nunchucks in there like that. So if you want to have them hold them like that with these hands, you can. All right. So that's pretty cool. I like that. All right. Now to the actual holding hands. All right. That fits in there pretty well. And then that one. All right. So the 2 nunchucks do fit well in his hands. No issues. And I believe they're supposed to go into these little front pieces here. Yes. All right, so that one goes in there. And then this one here. Boom. So there you go. The nunchucks fit very well in there. I do like that. So everything fits perfectly well with this figure. All right, so let's get into my final thoughts with him. So first off, his joints, they do move, but they're very, very stiff. I would probably recommend using a little bit of hot water to soften up these joints before you really start moving things. Just as a precaution, you don't want to break anything. Sometimes stiff joints will break. So you may just want to dip them in some hot water just to be sure, but they all do move. I will say that. Now, what I do have an issue with is this piece here. It restricts a lot of the shoulder movement, as you saw earlier. You know, the arms can't go all the way up because of that. So that's kind of a downer. The next thing is his accessories. The head did come off pretty easily. The new one did pop on, the same with the hands. So I didn't need to use hot water with anything, which is pretty nice. I do like that. So all his, all his accessories and extra parts do move and come off very easily. So no issues with that. And his overall look is pretty good. I do like the overall look to him, though I do feel like some of the painting areas with the red could have been done a little bit better, but overall he isn't a bad looking figure. So at the end of the day, would I recommend this figure? Yes, I would. Even though he does have his flaws, he's still a cool looking figure. I do like the overall look to him. I do like the factor that his nunchucks have real chain. Anytime they do real chain, I'm a fan of it. So I do like this figure overall. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to everybody who helps this channel. First on that list is Byron Bassett and his alter ego, Humongous. He does a lot of work for the channel. He also supports the channel. And he does have his own YouTube channel plus Sunday show. So check out all his information in the description. Next is Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit channel that I'm part of. They also support this channel. Their information is also in the description as well. And most of all, I want to thank everybody who watches these videos. I really do appreciate all of you. Yes, I do this for fun, but I also do it to create enjoyment for other folks. So I'm really happy that people are watching and enjoying these videos. So with that being said, I'd like to ask you all to check out my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle playlist and my membership program. Plus hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.